today's world, where perfection is often a mask we wear to gain approval, Shauna Niequist offers a refreshingly different approach to life. Present Over Perfect is not just a book. It's an invitation to step out of the exhausting cycle of constant striving and into a life filled with purpose, connection, and authenticity. Shauna's words are not about quick fixes or feel-good advice. They are about embracing the deep, messy beauty of a life that doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful. In the first pages, Shauna introduces us to her sea change, a transformative shift, like a baptism, where she leaves behind a life of busyness and overachievement to find peace in simplicity. For years, Shauna lived in a whirlwind of activity. Her world was dominated by the pursuit of perfection, always trying to meet others' expectations, pushing herself to the limit, constantly running from one task to the next. But this wasn't just exhausting, it was hollow. The turning point came in her reflection by a lake, a symbol of stillness and simplicity. It's here that Shauna begins to question her whole way of living. Is this really what fulfillment looks like? What if she could stop running, stop pleasing, and simply be present? This is where the journey begins. The realization that being present is more valuable than being perfect. She begins to see that the frantic pace she had set for herself, trying to outrun the fear of inadequacy and the pressures of modern life, was leading her to a place of emptiness. It wasn't about what she achieved. It was about how she was showing up for her life. She started saying no to the unnecessary commitments and yes to the people and moments that truly mattered. Shauna's transformation didn't come overnight. It began when she allowed herself to confront the uncomfortable realities of her inner world, her self-doubt, her constant hustle, her fear of disappointing others. She recognized that she had been using busyness to avoid vulnerability. But when she gave herself permission to feel, to sit with her fears and uncertainties, she found a deep, healing love that came not from external achievements, but from accepting herself fully. Throughout the book, Shauna uses beautiful metaphors like the vinegar and oil analogy. The vinegar represents our discomfort, our fear, our struggles, the parts of ourselves we often try to hide. The oil is the soothing love of God, the peace and acceptance that flows once we are willing to acknowledge the hard parts of our hearts. This isn't about denial. It's about embracing both the vinegar and the oil, the hard and the healing, and finding wholeness in both. In the second part of her journey, Shauna shares the challenges of moving away from this chaotic lifestyle and embracing stillness and presence. She had always been a woman of action, always trying to do, to perform, to achieve. But now, she finds solace in moments of quiet, in spiritual practices like centering prayer and reflective reading. It's in these spaces of silence that she feels closest to God. Shauna's spiritual awakening isn't about grand gestures or perfect rituals. It's about being still enough to feel the love and grace that's always been there, waiting for her to stop and listen. But it wasn't just her spiritual life that needed transformation. Her entire approach to relationships needed to change. Shauna had been caught up in a cycle of pleasing others, of trying to maintain the image of someone who had it all together. She'd neglected the people who mattered most: her family, her friends, and most importantly, herself. As she learned to say no, to step back from the pressure to perform, she made space for the people who truly nourished her soul. She began to prioritize connection over perfection, relationships over productivity. One of the most powerful moments in Present Over Perfect comes when Shauna discusses her evolving understanding of legacy. She realized that her legacy wasn't going to be defined by her job titles, her accomplishments, or how many people admired her. It was going to be defined by how she showed up for the people she loved, how deeply she loved them, and how present she was in their lives. True legacy, she writes, isn't about the applause of the world. It's about the quiet, faithful work of loving those closest to you. This theme of shifting from external validation to internal peace continues throughout the book. Shauna reflects on how society tells us to hustle, to constantly achieve, to accumulate accolades and recognition. But the truth, she discovers, is that all this hustle only leads to exhaustion, isolation, and a loss of connection with the things that matter most. Her message is simple: we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to impress anyone. We just need to show up, be present, and connect with the people and moments that truly bring us joy. Shauna also reflects on her relationship with her body. In a world that constantly tells women how they should look, how they should feel, and how they should behave, Shauna comes to a powerful realization. She no longer has to conform to anyone's standard of beauty or success. She learns to love her body as it is, to stop seeking validation from external sources, and to embrace the truth that she is enough, just as she is. One of the most touching parts of the book is when Shauna writes about the importance of play. For so long, she had lived in a world dominated by responsibility and achievement. But in learning to embrace play, whether it was through spontaneous adventures with her family or letting go of the constant need to be perfect, Shauna rediscovered joy. She remembered what it felt like to be carefree, to let go of all the rules and just be present. It was through play that she found her true self again, and it was through play that she began to reconnect with the world around her. In her final chapters, Shauna returns to the idea of being rather than doing. She reflects on how life is not about the achievements we accumulate, but about the relationships we nurture and the joy we find in the present moment. Her message is clear. True peace comes when we stop trying to be perfect, when we stop measuring ourselves against others, and when we embrace the messiness and beauty of simply being present. Present Over Perfect isn't just a book about slowing down or rejecting perfectionism. It's a call to reclaim what really matters: connection, authenticity, and a life that feels real, not just Instagram-worthy. Shauna Niequist's journey is an invitation for all of us to step away from the chaos, embrace the peace of the present, and find the joy in simply being who we are, imperfections and all. Through her heartfelt stories, she shows us that the good life isn't about achieving more. It's about being more. It's about showing up for the people you love, embracing the mess of life, and finding beauty in the imperfect moments. So, let go of the pressure to be perfect, and instead, be present. Your life is waiting for you in the moments that truly matter.